Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Comics from the Future. We hope you all are having a fantastic weekend and we really appreciate you watching our show. Potentially even more important to watch the show now more than ever. We'll tell you why in a bit, but first, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of the lovely Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Jason, you want to tell them why maybe it's even more important to watch the show than ever now?
Okay, so there's a lot of paper shortages going on. If you read any comic news, I feel like that's all I do. There are paper shortages galore. Marvel has announced, they just told all us retailers last week, that they're pushing their FOC date back by 1 week. I know that sounds like mumbo jumbo. What that means is we have so long to order before our orders are locked in, and then we can't change the order. Well, they've given us one less week, and what that means is any number 2s you see on this show from Marvel, the number 1s will not be out before us retailers have to order. So we have no data at all. So imagine being like, hey, it's issue number 2 of this new series. Well, how many do you want? Well, we have no idea how well number 1 is going to sell. Mm-hmm. That means that retailers, not just us, all comic stores out there are probably going to order lower than they should, meaning more important than ever for you to place your orders in advance. That's what the show is all about. So particularly with Marvel, but really it's just helpful to do with everything until we don't know how long these paper shortages are going to last.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's one of the whole reasons we started this show, so that we can help our orders and hopefully other stores and all that out there as well, in addition to you. So anyway, if it's your first time joining us, welcome. Please take a second to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out and makes us feel like, you know, we're important. So why wouldn't you want to do that?
We'll know the paper shortage is really bad when Dynamite goes down to just like 2 or 3 covers per issue. It's like,
no.
I thought the whole paper shortage was around now. I'm like, Dynamite now has 20 books with 20 different covers.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get things started.
Okay, so we're going to begin with our featured comics. These are the typically number 1s that we think people are going to want to know about, want to know why to order them. So we'll start here
with DC's Dark Knights of Steel. This is a really cool sounding new book from Tom Taylor. I feel like they love putting Tom Taylor on these Elseworld books.
Yeah, because he's doing Dark Ages at Marvel,
he's doing Dark
which
Ages
he wrote
a
while back.
Yeah.
They're releasing it now.
He did Deceased.
Yeah.
And this one, he says, is going to be his biggest Elseworld story yet. Which, I mean, is a big thing considering he's written like 4 volumes of Deceased at this point.
Deceased is huge. All the things that happened in that.
So this is going to be a 12-part maxi series, and you can probably tell a little bit of it by the cover, but this is the DC universe, but retold in a medieval setting. So that, I mean, that doesn't sound like that wild of an idea, but I skimmed through the first issue that we got some advanced previews of, and this is really interesting. So this begins with the destruction of Krypton. It looks very normal to what you're used to, and a rocket crash lands to Earth. That's where everything changes. You'll have to read it to see what happens, but in this time, it is medieval. There's castles. Clark Kent this time, or Kal-El, is more of like a prince type character, and Bruce Wayne is his semi-adopted brother. So it's really cool. It's a very Game of Thrones feeling, but imagine a medieval world where people have superpowers. Well, those would be considered something different here, like evil magic and everything. Yeah. So there's a hint of that, but I would say it's less like high fantasy and more of like straight medieval fantasy. So yeah, 12 issues. I'm really excited about this. It's hard not to give away some of the really cool aspects. There's going to be, you know, this isn't just, since it's called Dark Knights of Steel, it's not just a Batman book or a Superman book. There's a bunch of characters showing up in here in this kind of new form they take. Yeah, I'll just say there's a character called the Banshee, so you'll have to see that. But sounds really good. I'm very excited about this one. This is our A cover, and the cover artist here, Yasmin Putri, is the interior artist as well. So it is a beautiful looking book. Then we have a...
This sounds like a great retelling. I've been studying the cover while you've been talking, trying to pick out the characters. I'm pretty sure the bottom left there, I think that's like a Harlequin type character.
Yep, and
Who
this
would fit in
I was about to
perfect
say that
to
is
medieval
like the
days.
easiest one-for-one translation is
Yeah.
Harley Quinn being a Harley Quinn jester. And then we have the Middleton variant. So we've seen Batman on a horse before, but this time it actually fits a little bit more.
This time, yeah, it's not just because he left his Batmobile somewhere. There is
Yeah.
no Batmobile. Unless it's like a giant medieval bat he actually
Or
rides.
a bat carriage.
Yeah, bat carriage. Okay, so from Marvel, there is a brand new Black Panther
It's
series.
not bland at all. This is exciting.
I was getting my brand and Black Panther crisscrossed. So yes, T'Challa has a new series. This is supposed to be a high-action espionage series, which I think is awesome because, you know, he was off in space all that time, which, you know, that was a really interesting premise, the intergalactic empire of Wakanda. So now he's back. What do? Well, I think action, adventure, spy, that's about as different as you can get, which is pretty cool. So this is being written by a whole new creative team and drawn by a whole new creative team, being led by John Ridley, who's the Academy Award-winning writer. In this, T'Challa's past comes back to haunt him. Something to do with espionage. The solicitation is very keeping the details close to the chest. But there is a secret agent for Wakanda who reaches out to him and says, hey, I need help. So T'Challa has to try to help this secret agent while keeping his motives secret. He can't let anyone know that they have secret agents. I love how much the Marvel has blown up Wakanda.
Yeah.
You know, it is a really, really important place. So I'm not surprised they wouldn't have secret agents. I mean, once you get that political, that's just sort of part of what comes with the territory. So brand new Black Panther series, #1, starting in just 4 weeks. So this is the regular cover. Here is the NETEASE variant. These had to do with the video game. And then we have the ROMITA Jr. variant. And lastly, but never least, Scotty Young. With a cute Black Panther bee. He's going to claw your eyes all up.
Yeah.
All right, next up, this is from Image, going to be a new ongoing series called NEWBURN. It is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jacob Phillips, who you may remember from That Texas Blood. So Jacob Phillips is super well versed in doing crime and a little bit noir type stories, which is what this one is. So NEWBURN, that's the name of our detective here on the cover. He is a private eye, or just a detective with no loyalties, which to me it sounds like you're just asking for trouble in this world. So mainly the story is going to be about 2 warring mafia families, and the main premise is that one family member steals from within their own family and ends up dead, and he is called NEWBURN is called to crack the case. So Zdarsky described this as Sherlock Holmes meets The Wire. And he was really intrigued by police procedurals and the mystery surrounding that and how you can unravel a mystery. So that is what this is going to be about. So got my fingers crossed that it's good. Sounds pretty interesting. Something very rooted in reality compared to the superhero stuff we just saw. So NEWBURN.
Chip Zdarsky has such a wide berth of stories to tell.
He's just like Scotty Young. He can run the gamut. So yeah, this looks super cool. So this is our A cover by Jacob Phillips himself. That'll be our interior artist. And then the B cover, this is the Tula Lotay variant.
You know, when you're naming your crime character, it's important to have a name that it sounds like a police lieutenant can yell out.
Yeah.
They're like, NEWBURN, turn in your pistol.
Give me your badge and your gun. You're done.
Yes.
So next up is the next installment of Joshua Williamson's multiversal event. This is Justice League Incarnate #1. So it all began with Infinite Frontier, and we had that series. This is kind of the part 2 of the epic series. So in the end of the last one, we saw, I mean, we kind of knew it the whole time that Darkseid was behind this, but now this team, the Justice League Incarnate, which is a multiversal team with different characters pulled from different worlds, are going to stop him from gaining control of the greatest force in the multiverse. And what's really cool about this, so this is going to be, I believe, 5 issues long, and each world they go to is going to have a different artist. So I like that, where they each one feels very distinct and unique as they go into it with its own look and feel, and you get to see that artist interpretation of these characters. But some stuff has also come out recently. There is a, we won't have it here, but it's an incentive cover that there's a new character coming in called Dr. Multiverse. And we don't know much about her yet, but I mean, the way Joshua Williamson is getting, he's kind of spearheading all of DC's really like high-end big events at this point. This is going to be a very important series to kind of the shaping of the DC universe going forward. So, of course, the team is President Superman, Captain Carrot, Aquawoman, and Mary Marvel. And I'm guessing we're going to be seeing a lot of other characters come in as they go to the different worlds. But yeah, so if you read Infinite Frontier, or you like to be up on the big events in DC, this is the place it's going to be. Even though it's not really called an event, the story is going to continue on through here. So this is our A cover by Gary Frank. Then we have the FORNES variant, and you can see there the Flashpoint Batman. It didn't mention him in the solicitations, but we know he was heavily involved with that team during Infinite Frontier, so I'm sure we're going to see him come to play with this one as well.
Yep, old Thomas Wayne. Okay, so it has been 60 years since Marvel started Fantastic Four. And so in honor of that, they are doing this double-sized issue called Fantastic Four Anniversary Tribute. Now, they did something like this just once before with Giant Size X-Men, where what they're doing is they're taking the Fantastic Four #1 and they're having modern artists redo it page by page. It's actually not just going to be Fantastic Four #1. It's Fantastic Four #1 and Annual #3. Annual #3 is significant because that's the wedding of Reed Richards and Sue
cool.
Storm. So yeah, both those issues. So every page will be a different creative team. Last time they had them listed, I mean, it was so much talent, I couldn't believe it. It was like Alex Ross, Mark Brooks, like you name it, they were doing a page. This time they've not released the teams. I think that there's, a project like this, it's got to be an editor's nightmare to pull them together, to have to deal with that many
emails.
teams.
You got emails coming in every day from how 80 different artists or something.
Yeah, because this is a 56-page book.
Yeah.
But I love what they did with Giant Size, seeing just a different art style change page after page after page. I thought that was really cool. And when you ask an artist to do a page from something this iconic, they usually put some real work into it. So I think this is going to be really cool. It is $6.99, but once again, it is a double-sized 56-page issue. This is the regular cover, which of course is homage of Fantastic Four #1. And then here is your variant cover,
Wow.
which is homage of Annual #3, the wedding of Sue Storm and Reed Richards.
All right, next up is A Thing Called Truth. This is from Image, and it's going to be a 5-part mini-series. This is by the same creative team who did Alice in Leatherland. So if you liked that, really unique concept, going to be the same deal here. This is a little bit more grounded of a story. It is about these two characters here, a scientist and just a regular woman, as she was described in the description, go on a road trip through Europe. They have a mission to complete, and it's going to be about self-discovery and dealing with being true to yourself, is what the solicitation said. So 5-part miniseries from that team. There is a couple preview pages out there if you want to go check it out. So there's a lot going on in this, but like I said, it's a very grounded story, so hopefully it'll be good. We'll find out. So this is the A cover. Then we have the cover B, which is the ZANFARDINO variant.
Is that an homage to Department of Truth?
It really does look like it.
Where it's like the 2 colors and the truth really big.
I really want to say that because also A Thing Called Truth, it sounds so much like the title, but I don't know. Then we have the cover C, which is a blank cover. So get your favorite artist to draw your own truth on it. And that is coming out soon.
Next up is one that really cool. They're giving a lot of love to the Robins coming
They
up.
really are.
We've got the Robin series. We've got a book coming out called Robins, and this is Robin and Batman. This time, Robin gets top billing, so congratulations on that promotion. I'm sure Batman is perfectly fine with that. But this is really cool. This is only going to be a 3-part miniseries. This is a prestige format, so it's going to be one of your like magazine size books, but it's 40 pages long, and it is by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. So the team that brought you Ascender and Descender are teaming back up to bring you a tale of Dick Grayson's very beginning of being Robin. So I also got a chance to look through this. It's beautiful. Like if you are familiar with Dustin Nguyen's art, it is so unique. It's definitely all his own. He did the cover here with that watercolor, and you can still see some pencil on it. Really, really cool. But it's dealing with, it's the early career of Dick Grayson, but it's also the early career of Batman still. He's still kind of figuring out what his job is as the Dark Knight, and now bringing a child into this to fight his war on crime. Jeff Lemire is going to get in deep on why he's doing this, why Dick Grayson, why does he need a Robin. Just going through it, there was a scene I read that talks about Robin's suit, and it is just such a cool looking scene. And I mean, stuff that I even consider about, like, the name Robin, why he wears this suit. What was his, did he just go out the gate with this suit? No, he had something else he wore before that. So I think this is great. Dick Grayson, Nightwing right now is one of the biggest series coming out at DC. You can't get enough Dick Grayson, and with Jeff Lemire writing it, this is going to be incredible. So, yep, this is our A cover. And then, of course, if Jeff Lemire's writing it, he's got to get his hands dirty and do his own variant cover. So here is the Jeff Lemire variant.
I'm sure he's done Batman before. There's just so much Batman, but I don't know if I can remember Lemire doing a Batman. Mm-hmm. So to me, this is my first time of seeing Lemire's version of Batman and Robin. That's cool.
I think he's done some Batman black and white stories.
Okay.
And he's done some stuff here and there with when Batman's on a team. But his singular take on Batman, I'm really interested. That really fits his style.
Yeah. Okay, so here is a new series from Boombox. Boombox is the all-ages brand for Boom Comics. It is called Getting Dizzy. So this is for those of you who like your high-stakes comics that get solved by low-stake characters and abilities. So our main character, her name is Dizzy, and she's just terrible at everything she tries. She tries to be good at sports and music, all kinds of things, and she just sucks at it all. Well, one day, aliens come and attack the world, particularly her neighborhood, and I guess she gets something to give her powers. That's how it kind of looks. I'm reading into this a little bit. But she becomes she calls herself, she takes up the mantle of the Burbs Defender. Which, that just sounds very 90s to me. She's the Burbs Defender, and the way to defeat the aliens trying to take over the planet is she has to put together the coolest team of skateboarders in the Burbs. I kid you not, that's what it is. So like I was saying, a lot of danger, yet solved by a bunch of skateboarding kids.
It's also very 90s sounding.
It really
the hype
is.
Of skateboarding.
It really is. So, that's why I wanted to say this is those of you who like stuff like that, you know who you are. This is just a 4-part series. So this is our A cover. And then we have a wraparound B cover by MCGEE is the artist's last name. So now we're going to go into other number ones. There's always so many every week. We can't feature them all, but we will tell you a little bit about each of these as well.
All right, first up is Hellboy Bones of Giants. This is going to be a 4-part miniseries. This is based on the illustrated novel by Mike Mignola, so done in comics form for the first time. So in this, Hellboy and Abe Sapien travel to Sweden for an investigation and end up having to have a fight against frost giants. So.
I actually read this novel, which is really cool. There's actually some Hellboy prose novels. and the hammer he has in his hand, I believe, is Mjolnir,
Mm.
and it gets fused to him, and he can't let go of it. So you've got this cool mashup of Hellboy and Thor in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really cool miniseries.
Definitely a must-read for anybody on Hellboy, but as these are new miniseries with new series codes, always make sure to let your comic shop know you want it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the second new Hellboy miniseries announced lately. There was one
There's
announced
there's
about 2
always
weeks
one
ago.
coming out.
Yeah.
So
Next up is a fun thing. It's funny, a lot of these books that are going to be Halloween themed are missing Halloween, but Stranger Things is not going to have that problem. They are not going to miss Christmas because they are getting this out now. This is Stranger Things Winter Special. This is going to be a 48-page one-shot, and in it, the kids of Hawking are going to teach Eleven about Christmas because she's never really experienced Christmas because she was locked up in a crazy laboratory. So they are going to tell stories of their past. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of nerdy things they're going to be talking about that they got for Christmas. And all the while, Dustin is convinced he saw something outside lurking in the woods. So it's not only going to be these little stories, there's going to be some drama involved as well. So if you love Stranger Things, you're ready for the next season to come out soon, this is a great way to get back into it.
all right, from Marvel, we have the next part of Darkhold, this which is a lot of one shots with characters. This is Darkhold Wasp. This is going to be, I think they call her the Irredeemable Wasp once she gets the Darkhold. Scarlet Witch has chosen 5 different heroes, and she calls Wasp, I think she's chosen her as the artist for her ingenuity and strength of will. So if you're into the Darkhold stuff, I would definitely order it from your store now. Here is the variant. This is the Casanovas connecting variant with her attacking Ant-Man.
I like they're calling it Irredeemable Wasp because there's the older series, Irredeemable Ant-Man. So they need
That's
to use
right.
the prefix Irredeemable more often. It really sets the character up for success.
Okay, next up is from AWA Upshot, a series called Knighted. This is going to be a 5-part miniseries, and as you can tell in a multitude of ways, this is a little bit of a parody of Batman's story. Not sure exactly what it's going to be yet, but basically it is about a bureaucrat, perhaps politician character, who ends up killing the city's vigilante on accident. So he is knighted with the title. He has to take up the mantle. The solicitation says, luckily he has a trusty butler to help him out. So absolutely lots of tipping the head at Batman. So we'll see how this is. Got sort of a funny situation going on. So Knighted, number 1. This is the A cover. And then we have the Deodato Jr. cover B. How fast will they get sued?
It's also kind of the story of the Santa Claus. If you knock Santa Claus off the roof, you have to become Santa.
That's true. Mm-hmm. And you don't get to eat the cookies the kids leave. That's part of the punishment.
Next up is a new tie-in book. This is Watch Dogs Legion, number 1 of 4. So it ties in with last year's Watch Dogs Legion game from Ubisoft, the big series that started back in 2016. And so it has a mini-series that's not necessarily tying in with it because it says this is a standalone story, so you don't have to have played the most recent game of Watch Dogs to get it, but sounds fun and based on a really interesting game. So, yep. And that is our A cover. Then we have the MCGEE variant.
All right, so not Shauna, not Rima. This is Sheena, Jungle Queen. That is right. I don't know how you could get the 3 characters confused.
Jason's been workshopping that intro for hours now, so enjoy it.
Dynamite is bringing back Sheena, Jungle Queen, and they say that it's going to be a mix of classic Sheena with modern sensibilities, whatever that means. So this is the brand new series, and the A cover is by Prio. We have a B cover by Besh. You can't tell. Rose Besh doing another cover. And then we also have this D cover by Joseph Linsner.
I like the old pulp stuff, so I think that's cool that still hasn't died out. We're still doing jungle adventures.
Yeah, Marvel's got Kazar going right now,
Yeah.
and yeah.
All right, this is Gilliam March's Laura. So you may know Gilliam March for created Carmen, worked on Batman and Joker. So this apparently was created before any of that stuff that had been worked on before. So bringing it out to the forefront now. So this is just. It's kind of a little bit of a different perspective. We often see it the opposite way, but it's about a girl who is in love with a boy, but he is in love with someone else. So it's sort of how she deals with that, moves on, and how they end up pulled back together. So I've actually had quite a few requests for this, so I'm not sure what is special about it, but people are interested in it already. So
I think it's, Gilliam March has such an interesting style and everything. It's a very European style of storytelling. And Carmen was just like so interesting and so art driven as well. I think people really respond to that artist led book.
Yeah, so I say that a lot of people have asked for it because you might find it not being on the shelf. So if you are interested in this, pre-order it.
Next up is a new book from Aftershock by Cullen Bunn. He's still not doing enough. And thank goodness he's a good writer because he's doing a lot. But this one sounds really cool because he's a big fan of like historical characters and everything. So this is The Heathens, and in it, it's a supernatural story, of course. Cullen Bunn, all about the supernatural, where history's most evil souls have escaped hell. And now it's up to not as evil, but still pretty bad people to hunt them down, take them back in. This group is led by a pirate queen, and there's all these different historical villains that are going to be teaming up with her as they track down these even worse villains, which you can only imagine who those are going to be. So it's kind of a villain versus villain, little kind of the Suicide Squad idea. It takes some villains to hunt down villains. And I was interested, though, because I was looking at some preview pages, and even though Cullen Bunn said, he loves working with like period pieces and everything, the first thing was there was like cars and everything. So it looks like it might take place during different time periods. And the characters are really cool because they're a little ghostly. So I'm really excited about this one. Another great sounding Cullen Bunn book.
Did they list any of the characters? Like, are these actual historical figures?
They're actual historical figures. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So I feel like you have a little bit more of a vested interest in real ones because you hear a name, you're like, oh, that's a bad guy and everything.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of made up super villains or whatever.
Right. Okay, so this is a one-shot called Chilling Adventures in Sorcery. It is sort of an anthology comic that is narrated by Madam Satan. She's, I guess, our crypt keeper to it. The stories in this sound really cool. So there's a story about Archie where he works in a little kid's pizza place. That sounds very much like it's going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's story with Archie, which I'm surprised it's taken that long for anyone to think to do that. There's another one with Jughead, and the premise is that Jughead has never met a food he doesn't like until now. So what is this food going to be? Is it going to be like The Stuff? Like if any of you have seen that old movie.
I would just love it if it's just like broccoli, and he's like, oh no, and that's the end of the story. There's nothing supernatural.
Yeah, so this is just a one-shot, and my guess is they meant to get this out for Halloween and missed the mark by a little, because this is going to be out, I think, like 4 days after Halloween. Still, it sounds good. With it coming out after Halloween, I don't think retailers are going to order a lot of it, though, so I just wanted to tantalize with what the stories... They sound like the stories were good.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad they're getting out a little late. And here is the variant cover by Francavilla.
She looks a lot like she did in the TV show, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
All right, real quick here, we have Agritsuko out of office. Everyone gets to go on a vacation but our main character does not have the funds to go, so they end up being able to get to go, but they have to work at the resort.
That sounds too real.
Yeah, so just a cute little one-shot coming out for the Agretsuko lovers out there.
Next up is the relaunch of Star Trek Magazine. So, Star Trek Magazine has been going on forever, but even in the solicitation for it, it says it's getting a much-needed facelift, which I thought was a very, like, oh, wow, shade to your previous self. But it is now being rebranded as Star Trek Explorers Magazine. So, much like Star Wars Insider, this is going to be very similar with, sometimes it's going to have some prose stories in it, some behind the scenes, some exclusive content and pictures and interviews. So if you are a big Star Trek fan, I think this is a great place to jump on because I think they're like renumbering it back at #1 for this. And they're doing all the kind of cool covers that Star Wars Insider has been doing. So we have our newsstand cover. Then we have our previews exclusive cover. And then we have our FOC variant.
With the original cast.
Yeah, really cool that they're doing this. This is the same company, too, that's putting out, this is Titan, and they've been doing a great job with their magazines.
Okay, this is TMNT Best of April O'Neil. So they have been doing this Best of series for a while. They did all the Turtles, they did Splinter, they did Casey Jones, and now April has one. This is 100 pages. It's going to reprint all the stories they've deemed sort of her best, most classic stories. 100 pages for just $5.99.
Yeah.
So
it's a great deal, and you're getting stuff that is pretty hard to find anywhere else.
Yeah, these do very well at our store. So we would be remiss if we did not mention that it is time to order this one.
I still think I can't wait till they're going through the characters. They got to get some of those lower tier characters. I want the Bebop and Rocksteady one shot. I want the Muckman one shot. I want all of the weird characters.
They might, and you know, if a character they don't feel they have enough, they could always make it 2 of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, next up is Batman Superman The Authority Special. So this is a one-shot. It's going to be $5.99, and it's going to tie in with the War World stuff. Super hard to say. Going on in Action Comics. So it's kind of bringing the Action Comics and Authority stuff together. And it also looks like Batman is going to be invited in on this team. So definitely pick up this special if you've been reading either Action Comics or The Authority. Bring them all together.
And this is also by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's the writer of Action Comics. So Grant Morrison had been writing the Superman and the Authority comic. But this is from the other Superman writer. So sounds like if you're reading Action, this might be a good one to get.
And then we also have another cover for it. So this is the Lee cover B.
Next up is a new Marvel Tales. I like when they put out ones that I feel like I need to read because they're about characters I don't know much about. This is Genus Vell Marvel Tales #1, and he is the son of Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. So this is going to be collecting issues 0 through 3 of the 2000, it came out in the year 2000, Captain Marvel series. So I think this is interesting why this is a character they're doing one about right now. Makes you think maybe we'll be seeing more of this character in the future.
All right, so now it is time for our cool covers and other comics. By other comics, we mean issues number 2 and 3. A lot of times you're reading a series, you forget to tell your comic dealer, hey, you know, subscribe me to this.
In the back alley or out of the trunk of their car.
So here's some reminders. So first up is Last Flight Out number 3. This is a book where a father is trying to find his daughter because they got to get off of Earth. The world is ending. So if you like those first 2 issues, around issue 2 or 3, us retailers stop ordering so many for the wall. It's your chance to tell your comic store, sign me up.
All right, this is Amazing Spider-Man number 78, the Peach Momoko variant. This is the Beyond storyline. You can see it right there that's going on. It's featuring Misty Knight on the cover, and now Amazing Spider-Man is coming out 3 times a month. So do whatever you want with all this information, but here is this cover.
Next up is Black Panther Legends #2 of this 4-part miniseries about a young T'Challa in Wakanda. And this one is when he comes face to face with Aurora Monroe, the Storm. So really cool, a little young Storm, young Black Panther team up issue in this 4-part series. And then we have the variant cover by Edge.
All right, so Dark Ages #3 is available for ordering. And of course, this is before, the #2 has really gotten to us.
I thought #2
Number
was
2 is this week.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten to it in my pile. Or maybe I read so many comics, I just can't keep everything straight. But by Tom Taylor. In fact, I do remember #2 now because this one says that X-Men and Avengers have been vanishing in the night, in the darkness. And I know where they've gone because I did read issue #2. They're being used by one of the worst villains you can imagine to do some terrible stuff. In fact, he has built quite a formidable team. I remember that right from the end of issue #2. You have to read it yourself. So this is your chance to tell your store, sign me up for this whole series. I highly recommend it. And here is the variant, the Okazaki variant.
All right, Khazar, Lord of Savage Land, #3 is coming out. This is just the A cover. This is a 5-part series, and in this, the new master of the Savage Land is revealed. So don't miss it.
Next up is Kang. This is the Kafu variant in this mini-series. I believe is this issue #4?
Yes.
I believe, yes. So you can see his love, Renslayer, on the cover. We found out that she is a Moon Knight from way back when. So very popular series and this really cool variant cover.
Here is the main cover for Moon Knight #9, or I'm sorry, #5.
Wow,
that
really?
Moon Knight #5. So in this issue, his hidden enemy has been revealed, which is cool. I'm glad they get to that a little earlier than later. Sometimes it takes, 60-some issues to reveal who your hidden enemy is.
Were you talking about Amazing Spider-Man
I was talking
right
about
there?
Amazing Spider-Man right there. I can talk about
It's 74 issues, okay?
So yes, issue #5, his hidden enemy is revealed, but just because he's revealed doesn't mean he is in any way defeated. That's basically what the solicitation says. And then we have the Sue variant. Artists are just having a great time with these Moon Knight covers, just all doing different things. His colors work well for it, the darkness, the light contrasting. It's really been a good series too.
All right, next up is Shang-Chi #6. This is the Diwali variant, and this is the end of our first story arc for the series, and Shang-Chi is battling the Marvel Universe in this, something bigger than just these one-on-one battles. So into the first story arc here, don't miss it.
See, I'm really looking forward to this one because he has inadvertently pissed off so many characters, and I like the covers where all you see is one little piece of different heroes, and you just get really to recognize who is who.
It's gonna be a very painful collision. Everybody's putting out their most painful possessions.
Yeah.
Next up is Sword. This is for #10, and this is the In-Hyuk Lee variant with WizKid on it.
Here is Mighty Morphin #13. This is the Del Mundo variant. And in this, there's a showdown between the Power Rangers and the Imperials finally going to happen.
Next up, Dirtbag Rapture #2. This, I actually just read the #1. It was pretty amusing. It's about a character who can talk to dead people, and the way she deals with that is, it's really annoying to have to talk to dead people, apparently 24/7, so she drinks and does drugs to try to get them out of her head. I actually really enjoyed #1, so #2 is coming out if you liked it from Oni.
Next up is Jennifer Blood #2. #1 just came out this week, but already on to #2. So if you like the high action crime underworld series, this is our Perio variant, or A cover, and then we have the Linsner variant.
That's good. She's throwing a grenade right at us. That's, yeah. Okay, so this is the Perez variant for Spider-Woman number 17. In this issue, Spider-Woman takes a break to go visit her Hollywood friend who's working on an action movie set, and she gets to kind of help with the movie. But some of the stunts are not fake, and it seems like people are really trying to kill them. So, you know how it is. Superheroes can't ever take a break or have a vacation without things trying to kill them.
Poor people. Alright, next up we have a couple Star Wars things we don't want you to miss. This is Star Wars High Republic Trail of Shadows. Unfortunately, we don't have number 1 out yet, so this is what we mean by sign up for the series. I know all you Star Wars fans are going to want the whole thing, so just sign up for the whole thing. This is the Star Wars detective story where a Jedi and a non-Jedi team up. And then we also have one, no cover, but we know you want to know about it. This is the Star Wars Dr. Aphra 16 Sway variant. Sway did that cover for Black Cat, right?
Yeah, Black Cat number 9.
That
Yeah.
1 in 25 that was just so hot. It's still like over $50 right now. 1 in 25 cover where she was like dangling jewels and all that.
That
Very
pink background that she's
Yeah.
hanging upside down.
Go look it up. So Sway is way too young and talented for their own good. So don't miss this one. Hopefully a cover will be revealed soon.
Yeah, with no cover up, if they don't get us a cover by Sunday, which often they don't, retailers are not going to order a lot of this one.
So we'll have to order it blind. I think we'll order more
We probably
than we
will.
normally would, but I'm very curious what it's going to be like.
A lot of other stores will not, though, so definitely ask your store for this one.
Next up is Red Sonja, number 3. This is the new Mirka Andolfo written and spearheaded, and this is the A cover by Mirka Andolfo.
Okay, so this is the Hamner variant to Batman Reptilian number 5. Now, this series really has me hooked. This is the most bizarre series, if any of you watched my reviews on this. Batman finally saw the reptilian creature last issue. Last issue, I didn't know whether to laugh or scream or cry when I read that issue. All the things he said to Killer Croc.
I was about to say, this is a very mean Batman.
It is, but I can't look
hurtful.
away. I can't look away at Garth Ennis' mean Batman. So in this issue, or last issue, we get to see the creature, and this issue they say the creature wants to find its mother. So who is the creature's mother? Where is the creature's mother? I'm sure Garth Ennis spent tons of time thinking up the most messed up situation he could, and I have to view it. It's like a train wreck in slow motion. So I'm sure those of you reading it along with me understand.
All right, this is Superman 78, number 3, the Lee Weeks cardstock variant. This series is picking up popularity around here nearly as much as Batman 89, so don't miss out on it. Superman 78, number 3, cover B.
It's a pretty cover. Next up, we have Batman Urban Legends, number 9. Feels like those books are so thick, it feels like we're past number 9, but nope, we've gotten tons of story in it. So this is the Francavilla cover, and this is a Fear State tie-in. So in this one, Batwoman is also going to find the Anti-Oracle. And so that's our Francavilla cover, and then we have the Frederici variant, where you see Azrael here, he is going to be fighting some zombie-like creatures that are walking the streets of Gotham.
Okay, this is the Philip Tan variant to Teen Titans Academy number 8. Now look at that. There's a jack-o'-lantern on it. Yes, this is a Halloween issue. Too bad that it's coming out after Halloween. They also missed the deadline. It happens. You know, paper shortages, all kinds of problems, like we said. Still, I'm very interested in this. I like Halloween everything. You know, I've been rewatching all the Halloween Simpsons, Halloween's Bob Burgers episodes. Meanwhile, I read my Halloween comics. And if it has to go into November, so be it. Also in this issue, Homecoming approaches. So will there be a homecoming dance? I don't know.
There's going to be some Red X breaking through the glass during the dance, and I know how these things go in comics.
All right, this is me. Let's see. Batman The Adventures Continue, Season 2, Issue number 6. This is the cover B from Paquette. It's a really cute, really fun cover for this one.
Next up is Crush and Lobo, Number 6, this is the Go variant. That's such a unique style. That's, keep my eye out on that artist.
Yeah, it's hard to miss that cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like a New Orleans vibe
It
to
is,
it with
yeah.
all the colors and lights. Okay, so this is the Melina variant to Batman number 116. This is the penultimate issue of Fear State. So 117 is going to be sort of the end of it. In this issue, Batman is trying to stop Peacekeeper 01, who is just armed to the teeth and out of his brain. Scarecrow is whispering all kinds of things to make him attack the citizens and property of Gotham. It's up to Batman to try to stop him as best as possible. Batman's last fight with him did not go so well, so we'll see how he does this time. In the backup story, Batgirl is going to go after the Anti-Oracle. I can't wait until they reveal who this character is. The Anti-Oracle has been doing some really messed up stuff, so I've just been really enjoying all the Fear State. Going to be sad when it's all over.
All right, up next is Green Lantern number 8. This is cover B. This is the Juliet NECA cardstock variant featuring Kelly Teen Lantern. Really beautiful.
Oh, and this is Batman the Imposter number 2. So, once again, we still don't have number 1 of Batman the Imposter. Sounds really interesting, though, where there is an imposter Batman running around murdering people, and like always, people are blaming the real Batman. So this is the Sorrentino cover.
Looks like some things are out of order.
Out of order.
Yeah, so this is Soul Plumber number 2. Number 1, what a messed up issue. I reviewed it last time. More F-bombs and cursing than any DC comic I think I've ever read. But still very creative, for people with dark sense of humor, good book to read, but just not for everyone. So this is the number 2, and then we also have the variant. This is the Jones variant for Soul Plumber number 2. I guess I should talk a little bit more what's in it. So he created some device to supposedly yank demons out of people's souls. This device wasn't supposed to work. The solicitation says he has actually pulled a real demon into reality that starts messing things up and starts to shake the faith of our character, Edgar.
All right, this is Nubia and the Amazons cover B. This is the Mecha Sozo cardstock variant. Number 1 has not come out, unfortunately. I believe it comes out next week, so you're going to have to order this blind, but it sounds like a really cool issue. Nubia is navigating all the politics of being a leader, so she also starts an Amazonian fight club. So it sounds pretty awesome. This is going to be a 6-part series, so go ahead and sign up for it if you're interested in the Nubia series.
Okay, real quick, I found where we got off track. So this, with no trade dress that we can see, this is actually Joker Presents Puzzle Box number 4.
Oh.
This is the brown variant to that. So easy to get confused when there's no...
With so many Batman things.
Yeah. So, but to get us back on track...
That is Batman the Imposter.
Correct. Yes.
Number 2. And, this is the Sorrentino variant. And then we have a Bermejo variant.
Yep. Okay, so next up we have Batman, or I'm sorry, it doesn't say
no
Batman. It is Arkham City. In fact, they only mentioned Batman like once time in
the first
Yeah,
issue.
this is Arkham City, The Order of the World number 2. This is our second little traversing into the dark corners of Gotham with Dr. Joy Jocasta as she tries to round up all the inmates who fled Arkham during A-Day. So really cool first issue. Great new character. We had a lot of people coming in asking, I heard there's a new major sort of Gotham character. And we're like, yeah, this Joy Jocasta.
Mm-hmm.
It was her first appearance last issue. What she's doing is pretty neat. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't keep her around. We need some more people that we know in Arkham that aren't crazy or have been turned into villains.
Yeah.
There have to be some okay doctors, and I think she's sort of being set up for that.
Also on that cover, that's the Ten-Eyed Man, who's one of the scariest characters I've read in a long time.
Yep. So that is the A cover, and here is the variant. This is the Putri variant. So now we're getting to other printings and graphic novels.
Introduce us too epically. All right, this is the second print for Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika #3. All these are going back to a later printing, so check it out.
Especially when you get Mirka Andolfo doing new covers for it. It's like, it's just
Yes.
another way you can
Reason
get more
to do
art.
it.
Next up, this is interesting. I had to confirm about this. So this is What's the Furthest Place from Here, #1. It may look familiar because this is a second printing, but they are doing a second printing of this deluxe edition with the vinyl. So I'm not completely sure if I'm pretty sure it's the same vinyl
Yeah.
and everything. But yeah, they're reprinting that. So I guess the first one probably sold out.
So I've read about this too. So the first vinyl, they made as much as they thought they would need, but Rosenberg, the writer, him and his team have done such a good job of promoting this book, going on podcasts, early reviews, all that the vinyl print run just dried up like right away. They were like, everyone's being heavily allocated.
Mhm.
So luckily they're rushing back to do a second printing with the vinyl. That way people who want it can get it in some.
It does look like it's a different color
regard.
too. I think the first one was yellow.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Cover's different. Just the music on the vinyl's going to be the same.
Yeah.
I like this merging of comics and music. Why is it taking so long?
Mhm.
Like this is great. I really like.
And
that.
for only $15, like
Yeah.
that's a incredible price for this combo.
Okay, so now we have a few books to show you. This is God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes #1, 4th printing on this.
Wow, they've even started a new series by this point.
Yeah, so this is the sci-fi horror series that helped to launch Black Mass Comics. This is sort of the thing that did it, and now we have all kinds of Black Mass Comics since. This is the #2 is going to 3rd print, and lastly, #3 is going to 2nd print. I think this is going to be a book, once again, us comic shops, we don't know how many of these to get, and we're probably not going to get enough. So I would definitely ask your shop if you want these. I'd specifically order them now or between now and Sunday.
All right, this is cool. It is big and expensive. This is the Fables 20th anniversary box set. It is $240, meaning it would make an excellent gift for yourself or someone else. So this is, of course, about our happily ever after characters who have to adapt to a world of sex, violence, and moral ambiguity. It collects the full series 1 through 150, plus one-shots, plus a few other extras and things like that. So it's really pretty. You can see it right here. The Fables box set.
And finally coming out is the Rorschach hardcover, the series by Tom King. Finally wrapping up. I don't even think we've got the final issue of it yet, but this is going to be $34.99 for the full series, and I think this is going to read really well as a hardcover.
Okay, so this is the Batman box set. Now, how can they call it the Batman with all these stories they've ever told? It's because these 3 particular stories are ones that they're saying have influenced the upcoming movie, The Batman. So what 3 stories is that? First is, of course, The Long Halloween. That is supposed to be one of the influences. The next one is Ego and Other Tales. I don't think people know that one quite as much,
No.
but the writers have said that's also influenced the upcoming movie. And lastly, Batman Year One, which I'd say if you're a Batman fan, you have probably read that, and possibly Long Halloween. Well, they're recollecting them all. Nice slipcase cover. Good thing, making a present for yourself, somebody else before the movie. It's always cool to see, where these ideas come from and what did they do with them finally. So this is $63.
Yeah, and that's a Jim Lee piece of art that he did when he finally got to see the Batman suit. He drew it, and so that's actually going to be like the Robert Pattinson Batman
Nice.
suit on the side of it.
Cool. And
Yep, last up is The Phantom. This is the complete DC Comics Phantom Volume 1. It's $50. This is going to print the first 6 stories of The Phantom, originally published by DC, and the first miniseries by Peter David and Joe Orlando. So it's going to be like one hardcover. Volume 1, it's going to be 3 parts later on.
And that's our show for today.
Woohoo!
I only
Yes.
screwed it up once. I see where my mistake was.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to get your orders in by Sunday. If you need a comic shop, if you don't have a comic shop, we're going to leave some contact info up on the screen. And if you have not checked it out, we did an interview, a new video, most recent video with Alex Ogle, who did a variant cover for Amazing Spider-Man 75. He's a local artist here in Chattanooga. He did some of the artwork on our windows, murals, and things like that. So definitely check that out. Give it a like. And give this video a like as well. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited for. And everybody have a great weekend.
Yep. So long.